I'm going to read you a piece from Hamlet, and this is often referred to as Hamlet's advice to the players. And it's also regarded as what Shakespeare was giving as advice to actors and potentially to all speakers. Anybody who's going to stand on stage and speak. And obviously, when you hear some of what's in here, you'll see he's referring specifically to his own lines some of the time. But I think you can take this for anything. So let's have a listen to Hamlet's advice, Shakespeare's advice, to the players. Bit of context. This is Act 3, Scene 2 in Hamlet. And in this scene, Hamlet is putting on a play to present to his uncle that night, who, spoiler alert, killed his father and took the crown. Hamlet knows, and so he's going to try and put pressure on him. So he's written this play where exactly what he suspects his uncle did is going to play out. And he wants his uncle to get really nervous and shifty so he can read his reaction and see if he's guilty or not. If he is guilty. And if he's not guilty, he'll probably just laugh along with it. But if he is guilty, probably not going to like it. That would be pretty weird and freaky. So he wants the actors to put on a really good job. He doesn't want them to be rubbish. He wants them to be convincing and compelling. So let's go for it. Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of our players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. There he's saying, speak the speech as I was just demonstrating then, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. Just light and easy. It should just come out trippingly off the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of our players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. You ever seen a town crier? This weekend, for one night only, da 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 da. It's not very natural. He's not hiring a town crier to come and do the speech. He wants actors, and he wants it to be convincing. It should just be trippingly off the tongue. Don't mouth the words like a town crier, like really opening the mouth and da 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 and all that stuff. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hand thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and, as I may say, the whirlwind of passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Have you ever seen an actor or somebody doing a speech and they're doing strange stuff with their hands? Or doing this kind of pose, like classic Shakespearean actor sort of pose, this too solid flesh would melt or whatever, and sawing the air with your hands. He says, don't do that. Just do it all gently. Use all gently. Amazing advice. Use all gently. For in the very torrent and tempest, because you don't want to start getting carried away with all the emotions too much and lathering it on. I had a director one time. She would always refer to this as wanking. And she would say, the audience doesn't come there, my darlings. She had this old Cockney accent. The audience doesn't come there. I don't know what that was. The audience doesn't come to just see you wank, my dears. She doesn't come to watch you masturbate on stage. They come to see the truth. And she gets so emphatic about that. And it's true. We don't want to see all this demonstrating, and we don't want to see a guy or a girl standing on stage doing it all for their own pleasure, enjoying themselves to the degree that it's all just so they can feel really good, and they're not just telling the story, the truth of the moment. That's what an actor should do. And that's what you should do if you're doing a public speaking event or a speech or a pitch or a presentation. Just tell the truth. It's not about you. It's not about the solo symphony. It's not about doing things for your own pleasure to make yourself feel good, wanking, masturbating. It's about telling the truth and not getting carried away in the whirlwind of passion. You must acquire and beget a temperance. Just keep a lid on it, basically, that may give it smoothness. Oh, it offends me to the soul to hear a robustious periwig-pated fellow tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the groundlings, who, for the most part, are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows of noise. So if you imagine seeing an actor doing the speech and doing it all dramatic and laying it on super thick, like I am now a little bit, they're going so far that and nothing's connecting to the audience. They're just standing there like the groundlings, the people in the stalls in this day and age. They'd be standing on the ground, looking up at the stage, at the actors on stage. If you go to the Globe Theatre, they have the pit. It's called the pit. So instead of seats, people would just stand there in the pit. You can go right up to the stage. It's still very cheap. It's like £5, £7.50. If you're in London, highly recommend going and seeing a show. You can get tickets fairly cheap. Go and see a show at Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. It's awesome. And you'll see all the magic that goes on there, all the acting and all the voice techniques and everything, because it's all outside. So the actors have to be very strong with their voices. But they can't be tearing everything to shreds and overdoing everything, making it all melodramatic, and to tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the ground, like this. And the people on the ground are like inexplicable dumb shows of noise doing this. It's not saying anything. I would have such a fellow whipped for o'erdoing termagant. I should have checked what that word means before I make this video. It out Herods Herod. Pray you, avoid it. Don't do that. Don't go too far and make it all biblical and crazy and act like the mad king Herod. Don't out mad king the mad king himself. Then the first player says, I warrant your honor. And then Hamlet says, I warrant your honor. What does that even mean? I don't know. I should have done more research before I made this video. What did he say? I warrant your honor. I warrant. I justify. I need. I will justify your honor. I will justify your speech. Maybe I think he's saying I get it. Gotcha. Following you, basically. I would assume, but to assume is to make an ass out of you and me. Be not too tame, neither. Be not too tame, neither. But let your own discretion be your tutor. This is so good. This, again, be thinking about doing your pitch, your presentation, your whatever it is, your Toastmasters speech, your TED Talk, your acting audition. Be not too tame, neither. But let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word, and the word to the action. I'm always saying this to my clients. Your voice should move with your body, and your body should move with your voice. And actually, they interoperate. They move each other. You should should fit the action to the word and the word to the action. You shouldn't be going like this while your voice is staying really even and just kind of monotone like that. It would look really weird. Just like, I don't want to be going really dynamic and have all this tone and volume and stuff, but not move my body or face at all. It feels really awkward and weird. But don't be too tame and timid either. You don't want to tear it all to rags, but you don't want to just stay too safe and comfortable either. You have to push the boat out just a little bit. And I'm always recommending that in rehearsal, actually. Go too far. Because it's always easy to go too far and then wind it back in again, than to never quite go far enough. To always be amping it up, never quite getting there. Be not too tame neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. You'll feel what's suiting and what's not suiting, what works and what doesn't work. Trust your instincts. With this special, o'erstep not the modesty of nature. For anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first and now, was and is, to hold, as 'twere, the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time, his form and pressure. O'erstep not the modesty of nature. Don't overdo things beyond what's natural. There's a modesty in nature. Oftentimes, I think we'll imagine things more inflated than they are. Especially, for example, dramatic events. Like in this play that Hamlet's actors are putting on, when they discover the dead king, if they're, oh, and it's all like this, and oh my gosh, it's not going to hold the mirror up to nature and show virtue her own feature. Imagine the maid coming in and discovering the body, and instead of oh, and swooning and falling over and collapsing, imagine this dawning realization as she's just pulling back the covers, trying to wake her master, and realizes something's... Even that could be too much. It's going to look different on a camera because we're up close. The screen acting will be much smaller. And on stage, it might be a bit bigger. Like, it wasn't real. I could work on this reaction. Okay, I come in. I'm the maid. Come in. Something like that. Seeing somebody, when you see a body, I've never actually seen a dead body in real, like in the flesh, but I've heard that. I know people who have, and they've looked over and they said that the second they look at that person, they just knew. That's what I was going for in that take. They just knew when they look at them that they're gone. So it can often be a small realization, well, not to get too deep into those acting exercises, but it can be a small thing, and holding a mirror up to nature is going to be more interesting, not overstepping the modesty of nature, the smallness of it, but trying to tap into the truth of the moment is going to be so much more impactful if you can do that. Now, this overdone or come tardy off, though it make the unskillful laugh. I love this part that he talks about here. I would see this a lot doing acting jobs and seeing actors do this and realizing that I'm doing this. Now, this overdone or come tardy off, though it make the unskillful laugh, cannot but make the judicious grieve. So, if some people are just there and they're like the undiscerning eye of some of the groundlings who maybe don't see much drama, or just, if they see like a swoon or whatever, the judicious, the people who are there knowing that maid is discovering that dead body there, and they're like waiting, like, and they see this reaction, they're going to grieve what's been lost, what's been taken away from them. The chance of seeing that truth unfold, the really intense moment of that realization. The censure of the which one must in your allowance owe away a whole theatre of others. The censure of the which one must in your allowance owe away a whole theatre of others. If you censor that moment, if that moment's taken away, one must in your allowance owe away a whole theatre of others. If that one judicious person sees that and is grieving that, if there's a whole theatre full of just people who are all, I don't know, like drinking and whatever, and they're just there having a good time, enjoying themselves, and they're not paying much attention, they're like, and this silly reaction. We should discard their opinions, and this one judicious person who actually freaking cared about the truth, if they're sitting there and they're deprived of that, that should outweigh all the laughter from the crowds. Because as he's going to go on to say, if the actor is thinking, but loads of people liked my performance, that's even worse, because now you're going to be thinking, I did a good job. No, you didn't. They just weren't paying attention. They were laughing at how silly it was, not like seeing the truth of this crazy moment that was unfolding. They're being robbed of that. And that judicious person who actually cared, you are, I'm going to try not to swear, you're dumping on them. It's not the way. That's masturbation. Another O. The O's in Shakespeare are always, I mean, you could do them any different way, couldn't you? You could be like, the play. There be players. There be players. Now, it must outweigh all the others. There be players. Okay, I'm not doing that. That was the closest one. There be players that I have seen play and heard others praise. There are actors that I've seen act, and others have praised them and heard others praise, and that highly, not to speak it profanely, that neither having the accent of Christians nor the gait of Christian, pagan, nor man, have so strutted and bellowed that I have thought some of nature's journeymen had made men, and not made them well. They imitated humanity so abominably. Some of nature's journeymen. Again, I wish I'd done more prep before making this video. I'm going to have to come back to it another time. Oh, there be players. Let me read that whole sentence again so you get it. Oh, there be players that I have seen play and heard others praise, and that highly, not to speak it profanely. So he's like, he wants to speak it profanely, that are absolute dog muck. But instead, he's going to say that neither having the accent of Christians nor the gait of Christian, pagan, nor man. It's like, is it a Christian, like someone of the civilized world, or not even of the pagan world, the uncivilized world, or not even of any man, of any world, have so strutted and bellowed that I have thought some of nature's journeymen. I'm trying to remember what the nature's journeyman means. The journeyman. What does that mean again? Journeyman. I'm trying to remember it. Basically, it's like not nature made them. It's not natural. It's like something much worse. Like, it's like somebody. It's like somebody putting on like something really fake. Like if what is it? Journeyman. It's like if you were to put up. I think this is what it is. If you were to put up a really, literally like a paper mache model made by a little child, rather than like somebody that could pass as like a living, breathing, actual thing, an actual person with a life and a brain and a mind and a body and a spirit. Instead of that, what we really want, it's like some weird papier mache fake model, just cartoony version. Had made men and not made them well. They imitated humanity so abominably. Then the first player says, I hope we have reformed that indifferently with us, sir. So he's saying, I hope, you don't think we're like that. And he goes, oh, reform it altogether. Reform that indifferently. And he says, oh, reform it altogether. And let those that play your clowns speak no more than is set down for them. This is a good point. And let those that play your crown speak no more than is set down for them. For there be of them that will themselves laugh, to set on some quantity of barren spectators to laugh too. So the clowns, the characters who are going to make everybody laugh, just stick to the script, please. Just say the lines that were written down for you, and no more. Because for there be them. Why? Because there be them that will themselves laugh. The clown will be laughing. Oh, I'm making everyone laugh. You're making the barren spectators laugh. The people who weren't even paying any attention. The people who are just going along with the jokes. And you ever hang out with people sometimes, and you can tell people are just laughing in the moments they know that they should laugh. They can just feel there's I'm supposed to laugh here. And then every now and then somebody will say that, and they'll be like, was I supposed to laugh there? Oh, was that like a joke? and people will find that person annoying. Though in the meantime, whilst they're doing that, and all these mindless dummies are just laughing along with it, some necessary question of the play be then to be considered. That's villainous, and shows a most pitiful ambition in the fool that uses it. So meanwhile, while he's doing that, and I'm adding extra lines, and I'm getting other people to laugh, and we're all having a great time. Meanwhile, the writer's sitting there like, oh, God's sake. They just messed up that scene. And now this necessary question, this thing I really needed them to get in that scene, has just been glazed over and missed. And they might not even get what's happening in the next scene. Or in the next scene something happens and people are just scratching their heads, or they're just some big moment and it will just slip right by them and they won't notice, because in the previous scene the guy playing the fool was adding all this extra stuff and just shifted all the focus. So he's saying, don't do that, please. Don't do that. That's villainous, and shows a most pitiful ambition in the fool that uses it. It's like that sort of thing you kind of cringe at. You're like, oh, this guy, like, his pitiful ambition. Look at him. He just made it all about himself. It's the solo symphony again, making it all about himself or herself, and just to make himself feel good. That ambition to be the starring moment in the scene. It's pitiful, pitiful ambition. Play the truth, for goodness sakes. Play the truth at all times. That's your job. As an actor, it's your job. And as a public speaker in general, play the truth. If you're telling a story, play the truth. Now, when I say that, there is a caveat to that. Certain contexts, you shouldn't let the truth get in the way of a good story. In fact, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. In certain contexts. But in an acting context, in the context of the players here, never let the pitiful ambition of trying to make people laugh, trying to put on a big show, trying to be the starring moment, trying to do this, trying to do that, don't try and do anything except play your objective. What the character's after. That's what they're here to see. That's what the audience paid their ticket price for. That's why they're all paying attention to you. And maybe you could throw in extra jokes and overdo some certain scene, and some people will laugh and some people like it. Oh, yeah, that was really good, and praise you really highly afterwards. But the judicious will grieve. The writer is going to be sitting there. He's going to be dishonored, or she's going to be dishonored, and the audience will have been dishonored. They'll have lost out. Go. Make ready. One more time from the top. Let's just hear it all the way through without any interruption. So he comes in there, they're rehearsing the scene, and he says a few words to them, and then at some point he goes, "Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of our players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hand thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and, as I may say, the whirlwind of passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Oh, it offends me to the soul to hear a robustious periwig-pated fellow tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the groundlings who, for the most part, are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. I would have such a fellow whipped for overdoing Termagant. It out-Herods Herod. Pray you, avoid it. Be not too tame neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action. With this special, o'erstep not the modesty of nature. For anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first and now, was and is to hold, as 'twere, the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time his form and pressure. Now this overdone, or come tardy off, though it make the unskilful laugh, cannot but make the judicious grieve, the censure of the which one must, in your allowance, owe away a whole theatre of others. Oh, there be players that I have seen play and heard others praise, and that highly, not to speak it profanely, that neither having the accent of Christians, nor the gait of Christian, pagan, nor man, have so strutted and bellowed that I have thought some of nature's journeymen had made men, and not made them well. They imitated humanity so abominably. Oh, reform it altogether, and let those that play your clowns speak no more than is set down for them. For there be of them that will themselves laugh, to set on some quantity of barren spectators to laugh too. Though, in the meantime, some necessary question of the play be then to be considered. That's villainous, and shows a most pitiful ambition in the fool that uses it. Go, make ready.